Welcome to my latest 2023 NFL preview. Today I am breaking down the Green Bay Packers, and here's how my previews work. I start off with 3 things I like about Green Bay Packers, followed by 3 things I don't like. Then I go over to yearly win total odds, look over the Packers schedule, and at the very end I review if I'm going to put action down on the Green Bay Packers. Let's start this off with the first thing I like about the Green Bay Packers. The first thing I like about the Packers is their front 7. Yes, I'm fully aware that this was not a good unit last year. They were 26 in rushing yards allowed and only had 34 sacks. First off, Devontae Wyatt will take over as a starter. He's a first-round pick from Georgia last year, and early reports are he is dominating during training camp. As I am making this video, Rashawn Gary is still on the PUP list, but he is expected to practice soon. The other first-round pick from Georgia, Quay Walker, had an excellent rookie season. He led the team in tackles. You still have Devondre Campbell, one of the best linebackers in football. You combine this with first-round pick Lucas Van Ness, and this unit will be much improved in 2023. I'd even argue that this could be a top 10 unit. Second thing I like about the Packers is their 1-2 punch at running back. Aaron Jones might be the most underrated running back in the NFL, a 3-down back who is also an excellent receiver. Then you have coming off the bench 250-pound A.J. Dillon. Not a bad receiver in his own right. He gets his short yardage carries while Jones is a threat to score anywhere on the field. Despite injuries all along the offensive line last year, these two still combined for 2,492 yards and 14 touchdowns. If this offensive line can stay healthy, I fully expect this number to increase in 2023. The third thing I like about the Packers is the weapons they gave Jordan Love in the draft. If I am being honest, the Packers 2023 draft felt like a big middle finger to Aaron Rodgers. The Packers drafted 2 tight ends early and 3 wide receivers total. The 2 tight ends are both massive, fast, can catch, block, and run. Early reports that both are impressing early and both are expected to play quite a bit as rookies. Jalen Reed is the second-round wide receiver, and he's an excellent complement to these 2 massive tight ends. He's a smaller playmaker who is also a punt return specialist and exciting playmaker in the open field. The other 2 wide receivers are late-round picks, but if either one makes the team, it's a win for this draft. It's really just amazing, 2 tight ends and 3 wide receivers in just one draft. To recap the 3 things I like about the Packers, I like their front 7, the 1-2 punch at running backs, and the weapons Jordan Love got in this year's draft. Before I go over the 3 things I don't like, make sure you smash that like button. And if you are new here, make sure you subscribe. It means a lot to me when you actually subscribe to the channel. Now, 3 things I don't like about the Green Bay Packers. The first thing I don't like about the Packers is Jordan Love. When Aaron Rodgers first got his chance to play, he was impressive. Jordan Love wasn't. He didn't look comfortable and seemed completely lost. I wasn't sold on Jordan Love coming out of college, and what I've seen so far, he's a major downgrade from the future Hall of Famer. Now, keep in mind, we don't know what to expect, but when you go from one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to an unknown, it's cause to worry. The second thing I don't like about the Packers is their offensive line. Last year, every time I asked a Packers fan what the problem was with the Packers, I got the same answer: offensive line. During the offseason, they didn't sign anyone. They didn't draft anyone, but they expect Jordan Love in his first year as a starter to be successful. Starting left tackle David Bakhtiari has missed more games in the past 3 years than he has played, but you don't draft or sign anyone. The good news is there is a lot of youth on the offensive line, and lots of different people played last year, so the offensive line is young and will improve, granted Bakhtiari stays healthy. The third thing I don't like about the Packers is no true number 1 wide receiver. Last year the Packers drafted Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Both had their moments, but the Packers' leading returning receiver is Aaron Jones. Yes, the running back. The Packers did draft 2 tight ends and expect them to play early, and Watson and Doubs will continue to grow, but coming into the beginning of 2023, there is no true number 1 wide receiver. Last season, part of the Packers' struggles was the trade of Davante Adams. The combination of an inexperienced quarterback plus a shaky offensive line and a young group of wideouts all work together, and they're basically the 3 things I don't like about the Packers. Since I already recapped the 3 things I didn't like, let's go over to yearly win total odds and look at Packers' schedule. The magic number across the board for the Packers is 7.5 wins. If you don't understand how to bet yearly win total odds, check out this video video here. Action is on the over. You can get negative 120, but you can get even money or a positive number on the under. Let's take a look at the schedule and let's see if the Packers can get to 8 wins. The first thing I notice about the Packers schedule is an early bye. Now normally I'm not a fan of early byes, but this is an exception. You start the season with 2 road games, but both of these are winnable. The first home game, week 3, is a tough one against the Saints, but week 4 you have a revenge game against the Lions on Thursday night. That's going to be a good game. Then you play the Raiders Monday night in Vegas. You have a nice advantage with the Raiders playing a late divisional game versus the Chargers. Realistically, going into the bye, I could see the Packers being 3-2. After the bye, you play Denver. Now Denver, while you have a bye, they play a Thursday night game in Kansas City, so you still get an additional rest advantage. I think that's very key because you get 3 out of your next 4 games are at home. Thanksgiving at Detroit is going to be a good game, followed by Kansas City at home before you play the Giants on Monday night in New York. The key to making the playoffs or winning 8 games consists of 2 main parts. Can you be 2-3 or 3-2 at the bye? The second is right after the bye, weeks 7 through 11. Can you get 3 wins out of those 5 games? If you can get to Thanksgiving at 6-5, you have a good chance to make the playoffs. If you're 5-6 or worse, then you're probably going to be at home this year for the postseason. The final 4 weeks of the season, you host Tampa Bay in December. That's a big advantage for the Packers. At Carolina is a winnable game, and Chicago to end the season could be for the playoffs. Personally, I don't recommend betting on the Packers, but their schedule is very favorable. With 8 being the magic number, that's really what I see is 8 wins for the Packers, maybe 9, but my recommendation is a hard pass when betting on the Packers. Tomorrow, I break down the New England Patriots, so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.